Since November 2020, Apple has released 3 patches for at least 7 documented in the wild zero-day attacks, mostly launched by nation-state-backed threat actors. Last week, Google released new details on a pair of exploit servers used by a sophisticated APT to exploit users across multiple platforms, including exploit aimed squarely at Apple's iOS. The most recent vulnerability relates to a WebKit bug that could enable hackers to process maliciously crafted web content that may result in universal cross-site scripting attacks. This vulnerability applies to iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, and macOS. Except for my iPhone and iPad, all of my Apple devices automatically downloaded and applied the out-of-band patch. Now, Apple did not disclose further details of the zero-day vulnerability, but confirmed it's aware of the attackers in the wild that are actively exploiting this issue. In this video, I want to discuss this vulnerability, who the threat actors are, and the steps Apple has been taking to stay ahead of the curve in this cat and mouse game. Let's talk. My name is Afaq. So if you read the official note that Apple put out, it says the issue was addressed by improving the management of object lifetimes. We know the bug existed in WebKit, and the verbiage makes it seem like the vulnerability is caused by a memory corruption issue that could be triggered to cause arbitrary code execution when processing specially crafted malicious web content. Universal Cross-Site or XSS means that WebKit itself can be tricked into violating one of the most important principles of browser security, known as the same site origin policy or SOP. Universal cross-site scripting attack is not as serious as an RCE, but it is still a big deal for browser security. Just for context, the previous 0 days were about the bugs that mostly existed in the XNU kernel used by Apple devices. If you recall, last month, Apple released its 2021 Platform Security Guide, a beefed up State of Union style 192-page report where Apple described their goals for the device hardware, software, and silicon security. Most of what was included in the report had been previously announced or leaked, but there was one big exception, and that was Apple's Security Research Device. As per Apple, the Apple Security Research Device is a specially fused iPhone that allows security researchers to perform research on iOS without having to disable the platform security features of the iPhone. The 7 key items mentioned in the report are memory safe iBoot, boot process and modes for Apple Silicon, the M1 chip, startup disk security policy for a Mac running Apple Silicon, local policy signing, key creation and management, password monitoring, and IPv6 security. Now, it's not known who is actively exploiting the vulnerabilities or who might have been the victim. Apple did not say if the attack was targeted against a small subset of users or if it was a fleet-wide attack. If you recall, until late 2019 and 2020, there wasn't much news on cyber threats targeting Apple. But from the start of 2020, the cyber threat momentum has been building up. In the 2020 State of Malware report, Malwarebytes researchers reported that Mac malware, we're talking about backdoors, data stealers, and crypto miners, had risen by 61% over 2019 or the year before. So unfortunately, 2021 is proving to be yet another year where Apple-bound malware and hacks will continue. So here are a few steps that Apple has taken to prepare for the ongoing cyber threats onslaught and the things that you should know as a cybersecurity professional. So number one, with the introduction of the M1 chip, Apple is unifying the security approach. We're talking about features such as kernel integrity protection, fast permission restrictions to help mitigate runtime attacks against WebKit or Safari, pointer authentication codes, and so on. M1 Macs also have a built-in secure enclave for data protection. While this is great news for M1 Mac users, most of Apple's install base today still consists of Intel-based Macs. And this is where Mac OS related security, the software security features come in. If you care to read, these are well documented in the Platform Security Guide. Number two, like it or not, Apple deals with security by way of obscurity as well. Unlike Microsoft, Apple does not provide details about security internals to antivirus vendors or even security researchers. This approach has served Apple well in the past, but it is going to be tested in 2021 as more sophisticated and well-funded threat actors pole jump over the Apple security wall. Number three, the Mac malware on business endpoints is also on the rise by an estimated 31% in 2020, and remote work will simply add more fuel to the fire. So if the company you work for uses Apple devices, it behooves you to consider adding third-party malware protection solutions such as Malwarebytes EDR. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful. I'm keen to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you here on Monday and Friday, sometime on Wednesday. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.